episode number 69. This week's episode, I'm joined by singer-songwriter Joshua Ray Walker. Joshua recently released his debut album, Wish You Were Here, just a couple months ago. It's been getting some major praise on the circuit, and I've really thoroughly enjoyed this album as well. As a songwriter, I think like one of the things that really sticks out is that he's really unafraid to tackle hard and difficult subjects. It comes out in a few forms. I'll point out basically, in my opinion, like the two biggest ones. For starters, like a lot of it comes from a place of vulnerability. I'll let him tell you the story, because he talks about how he wrote the song Canyon and why. But that's really from a place of this unapologetic vulnerability. It's a very intimate song that's, about a very specific point in his life, and you can hear the voice, or the fear in his voice. You can hear the fear in these lines, and there's a lot of high tension and stress in that song, and a few other songs on the record like that. And the other, I guess, like him being an unafraid songwriter, is it's a lot less serious than these like really high tension moments of real life, but it still comes with a heavy dose of honesty, and that's in the songs like Working Girl and Lot Lizard and Last Call. There's a lot of humor in these songs, but it's also like he goes into them with the same, I guess, like attention to detail of telling a story as truthful as possible, as close to what it would be like in real life, and not necessarily like glossing over in this kind of arty way or anything like that. Anyway, we talk a lot about the album on this episode, and the Dallas music scene in general. As always, tell your friends and coworkers and whoever to listen to the podcast if they like conversations about music, and give the podcast a 5-star review on iTunes. Follow me on Twitter and whatever else you want at _newslang. So anyways, here is the conversation I had with Joshua Ray Walker. It's always strange because like some guys are super loud and you're like, oh God, I gotta turn you down way.
You ever done Paul Coffin?
Yeah.
That's a loud dude.
Yeah, I've known Paul for a good minute, back in his Sons of Fathers days, and yeah, that's a band like that. I honestly like. I thought they were gonna change country music. I thought like those two records, and then like that. I guess they ended up putting up that just a compilation of all the other stuff they had recorded later. But I thought Burning Days was
good stuff.
Yeah.
I got to see them live once in Austin. I don't even remember when that was. 13 maybe. Yeah. Something like that.
Yeah. It's so strange or not strange, but what kind of sucked was they were going to play a Wednesday here. It was like a Wednesday or Thursday. And like the day before, they announced that they were breaking up, and my first thought was like, what, are you guys gonna play that last show, or is it
Did they?
No. It was definitely a bummer though, and it was just kind of like, God. They were a great band
for sure.
So you grew up in East Texas, right?
I grew up in East Dallas. So I just make that distinction because I don't know. I guess I feel like I have a pride in that neighborhood. I grew up there. It's distinctly different than the rest of Dallas. It's a melting pot, all sorts of different cultures there. It's lower income, lots of interesting food and weird retail places, quinceañera dresses, that sort of stuff.
Right.
So I just make that distinction because also a lot of people claim Dallas, and then you're like, oh, what part? And they're like, Farmers Branch or whatever. It's like, well, that's.
No, I hear you. Yeah. I'm from West Texas, so if you're like, I'm from Fort Stockton, you're only from Fort. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing else out there. But I think for most of the people in the state, we always just call it DFW, and you have to realize like there's all these
Right.
pockets of.
Well,
It's
DFW,
a big
you
area,
got.
you know.
I think the Metroplex is close to either 20 million or 30 million or something now.
Yeah.
And that, I mean, that's a lot of land mass to cover too. But Fort Worth on its own is one of the largest cities
Mm-hmm.
in Texas. And then Dallas is a 30 to 40-minute drive.
Right.
And then all the cities in between, which we just call them the mid-cities, that's got just as many people as the two cities do. So it's really, there's an insane amount of people in that small space.
Obviously, like in a city like that, you've seen a whole lot of development, a lot of like these areas that are, you know, these especially like in DFW and in Austin, you see like a lot of gentrification happening.
Sure.
Have you seen a whole lot of that? Like you said, you East Texas or East Dallas.
My neighborhood that I grew up in was called Casalinda, and I moved back there 4 or 5 years ago now.
Mm-hmm.
It's a totally different neighborhood. Growing up, you know, like it was kind of understood past a certain hour you shouldn't be out, you know, in the front yard, or at the very least you got to be on, on watch. And that's kind of the case in any big city. You know, you have your pockets of crime and whatever. But now, yeah, it's all dog groomers and fancy cupcakes and, you know, all the things that come with gentrification. Really more than that, like I grew up on the Lower Greenville area, and that street is totally different. I mean, it's all fancy wine bars and cocktail bars and nice restaurants. And when I was growing up, it was all like social security check drinkers and pawn shops, and you know, it was the drag.
Right.
Like it was a bunch of
Liquor stores and gun shops and
yeah. So that's strange. There's a Trader Joe's now. You know, like it's different. I've seen the city change a lot, but that stuff's all cyclical. Like I've also seen nice neighborhoods.
Yeah.
That aren't nice now, you know.
Right.
So it just moves around.
Yeah, it's such a. I think like we talk about, you know, development being great for everybody, but there's obviously, it can push people out, and it changes places. Obviously, it can change where you thought you were from. You know.
I mean, my favorite record store in Dallas is Good Records, and they are actually moving off of Lower Greenville right now. I'm guessing because they got priced out. That's
Right.
the only reason I can think of. They've been in the building almost 20 years.
Yeah.
And they're getting moved over to my neighborhood. Actually, they're moving like less than a mile from my house, because that's where all the cool places that, you know, we're on Lower Greenville are having to move 10 minutes farther east. You know, which is great for me. But I like to see the history kind of stay where it is. So it's a little sad, but you know, Steve Earle's going to be playing the first like in store there on March 11th in their new location.
That's cool.
I'm gonna go to that. That'll be fun.
Yeah. You ever seen Steve play?
I haven't. No.
I saw him one time at, I guess it was a South by show probably 5 or 6 years ago, and it was acoustic. It was right whenever that Low Country record came out.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think like that guy's just
He's
a hell
great.
of a
I would love to meet him.
Yeah.
I hope I get to meet him.
Yeah, I'm sure you
next
will.
week.
I mean,
yeah.
He's I guess he has that new record of guy covers coming out. So,
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. He had
That's
that.
awesome.
He had a record of the Towns covers a couple years back, and now he's doing one of just all Guy Clark songs. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, man.
So speaking of records, I mean, you got a record out.
Yeah.
Wish You Were Here.
Wish You Were Here just came out about a month ago. Well, 6 weeks ago now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've been doing this for a long time, and that was the debut record. It feels so good to have it out and to have it on vinyl, to hold it in my hands, you know.
Right.
I got to have an in-store and a record release show at Good Records, that place that's moving. And I've been wanting to play there for years. I've seen so many good acts play there. So I'm really happy that I got to play in the old location I grew up going to before it moved. And yeah, man, it's been It's exceeded all my expectations. It's been in the top 40 of the Americana charts for 6 weeks now.
Mm-hmm.
It's getting some good Texas country play, and
Yeah.
it's just, I mean, yeah, I wasn't expecting this reaction from people.
When Canyon came out, I felt like that was like I guess I found it through Spotify, just on like, Discover Weekly or whatever, that kind of stuff. And usually every Friday I'll just start from the top and kind of go down, and it popped up, and I was just like, wait, who is this guy? Because like, I don't know, it sounded so new but like familiar, and I felt like the idea of like the imagery you use there with a canyon. I love whenever something like that is so plain spoken, like everyone gets it automatically, and you think like, how is this not already? How we don't have this song already? And it's it's new though.
Thanks, man.
I guess like I guess like the process of writing that song. Like when did that come to you?
That song was me kind of like processing all these thoughts and emotions I was having when my dad got diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer. He was in good health, and then all of a sudden one day he just got sick at work, and we had a lot of tests done, and the result was bad. Luckily he's still with us,
Mm-hmm.
Still fighting. And so I was just kind of trying to process, like, knowing that like him dying is inevitable, which that's the case for everyone. We're all going to die, but knowing that his life is going to be quite a bit shorter than we had all anticipated.
Right.
And kind of just like what I wanted my relationship to be with him, what he was going to leave behind, kind of like legacy. That made me think about what I might leave behind when I go, like, and if I were to go right now, would I be happy with what I've done, all that sort of stuff. And then just all the things that come along with a father-son relationship. It's a complicated relationship. Right. So that song was me just kind of processing through all those thoughts and feelings. And I only have a couple songs that I sat down and they just all came out at once. And that's one of those songs. Like, I sat down and the whole thing was probably done in 10 minutes or something.
Yeah.
And a lot of people say there should be like a third verse or something. And I just felt like I didn't want to mess with it. It so clearly said everything that I was feeling that I was just like, nope. I know I could make edits and probably fix things and add a verse or a bridge or whatever, but I decided to just leave it. So,
yeah.
I
mean, and something else about that though is also often when you have like for lack of a better term, like a tribute song to somebody, usually those songs come out before, or I mean not before, but after they've already passed.
Right.
And I mean, it's pretty great that he's been able to hear it, and he's able to.
For sure. I mean, the first time I actually sang it in front of him was pretty emotional. I didn't think about it; it just happened. Like, he was at a show, and it was mm-hmm. on the set list. I was like, "Oh my God, he hasn't heard this. He doesn't know I wrote a song about this." Like, I like right before I played it, I freaked out because that's a heavy song to drop on somebody you love. So, but he loved it. Like, he got emotional. That made me emotional. I could see it. He was in the back of the crowd, and it was a really good moment. It was. I think that was at my first single release. I had a single release party when the album went into pre-order back in like September, at one of my favorite bars in Dallas called the Double Wide. And it was a good night. Yeah.
One of the things that I feel like you do a great job on is this. It's like just a very raw, I guess, honesty, where if you're singing from like a song like Canyon, it's an outpouring of emotion, but also like if you see like on a song like Working Girl, it's a very raw, I guess like you very non-judgmental. Like, I think a lot of people would take a song like that and really, for lack of a way of rake that kind of person across the coals. You know what I mean? And give
Sure.
them a. But like this is like that and like Last Call. I mean, I think those songs are kind of raw in a very non-judgmental, just kind of telling the way a story goes without being, I don't know. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, man. I mean, those are my people. So I've kind of always surrounded myself with those type of characters, and not prostitutes necessarily, but
Right.
you know what I mean. And I don't know. I get it. We've all been there. I've never met a person with a vice that I can't relate to, and I don't know. That's what those songs are about. Just exploring like all the best and worst parts of people, and I feel like you can find a little bit of yourself in the characters and the songs, and because we're all there at some point, no
Right.
matter what you're singing about. We all have our rock bottom at some point, so you know, no use in shaming anyone, I guess.
Right. And also there's like a little bit of a sense of humor to it. There's a
Sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
you got to poke fun at the darkness, or you know, it can be too dark.
right.
So that's really what kind of drew me into country music. Like I grew up listening to 90s country with my parents, and you know, outlaw country is everywhere in Texas, so you hear it. But I never paid very close attention to the lyrics. And I guess I thought that was an older generation's music when I was a kid. And I started playing young. I was playing in bands by like 12. So I was trying to play rock music. You know, I was angsty and I was angry and I
Right.
wanted to play hard music. And then, I don't know, I got a little older and I realized that's just a lot of energy to not just to play it, but just to feel that way all the time.
Right.
And my personality, like if something's going wrong, I'm quick to kind of poke fun at the situation. And eventually I came around to the idea that that's what country music's doing. Like they're in on the joke, like all these sappy songs and oh, my dog died. And you know, all those things that
Right.
people make fun of. When you really listen to the lyrics, you realize, yeah, sometimes those are the jokes in the song, but the writer is in on the joke. They realize what they're doing. And so that kind of like, that lightheartedness is kind of what drew me into writing country.
Yeah. It kind of reminds me of some Blaze Foley stuff. Like
Thanks.
where there's like
One of my
this,
favorite writers.
yeah, where like obviously you have a song like Clay Pigeons that is super sad and it's a highly emotional state. But then
Right.
you have some songs that are, you know, but even in Clay Pigeons, like you have these lines that you kind of
Yeah, they're funny.
can't help but laugh at
Yeah.
because it's so,
Totally.
it's such a, you know, it's such a, it is that whole where
It's
you
the
sometimes
imagery,
you have to
you know,
laugh to stop from crying.
Yeah, totally, man. And he was great at that. And that's kind of what I try to do. Because those are the songs that a lot of people listen to my music and they think it's too sad. You know, they're like,
Right.
why don't you write a happy song? You know, that kind of thing. I'm like, these are the type of songs that make me feel happy when I'm sad. You know,
Right.
something to relate to that pokes fun at the situation and can kind of bring you out of it. If I listen to a happy song when I'm sad, I'm just going to get mad. You know, like it's just going to piss me off. So, yeah, man, I appreciate the compliment. Blaze is he's great. He's
Yeah.
one of my favorites.
Well, you mentioned like the whole, you know, just when you're young playing rock music and getting the angst out, right? And
Right.
It is such a thing of a lot of these alt country guys, for lack of a better term. I know like people don't like alt country Americana as a capturing a scene, but like, you know,
Well-
a lot of these guys they do start out in punk bands and like rock and roll bands, and then they realize like, oh, you know, it's not like this all the time. I'm probably a little bit more mellow of a person.
Right.
Maybe it's easier on the voice too. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, and you mentioned the whole alt country Americana thing. Like I get labeled that a lot. Not alt country as much as Americana. And man, I don't have any problem with it. Like if people want to listen to my music, they can call it whatever they want to call it.
Right.
You know, Americana is a really hard thing to define. And there are a lot of great artists in that genre that I'd love to be compared to. So if people want to call me alt country or Americana or whatever, like, that's fine. I didn't, set out to be a country artist.
Right.
I just started writing songs, and they happen to sound kind of country sometimes.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Another band they're from the DFW area that kind of has that same going with a little bit more angsty, Vandaliers.
Yeah, good friends of mine.
Yeah. I guess they're going to be playing here in a couple of months, like in April, I think.
This is my second time playing here.
Mm-hmm.
And do you always broadcast out of the blue light?
I try to, yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's really cool, and it's awesome to be back. You hear about this place all the time in Dallas. It's one of the stops you have to make when you go west. And
right.
I got to play here last year. I think it was about a year ago. I think it was in March, as an opener for the Vandaliers.
Okay.
They brought me out and, let me stay in their hotel room and showed me what Lubbock's all about. Took me to the place on the corner and got some pit burritos and
right.
Had some burn shots and did the whole thing. So I'm happy to be back.
What do you think of burn shots?
They're good. I prefer whiskey, but they're fun. It's one of those things. Once you start drinking them, it's pretty easy to keep drinking them.
Well, see, that's the thing for me. Like since obviously it's originated here, the burn shot here. I think it's a lot easier. It's harder to go other places whenever there's like not a burn shot, because those are like super easy to drink. And
right.
If you're, it's one of those things where if you go to another bar, it's like, oh, your options are a lot more limited to like whiskey and tequila. And
to me, it feels like kind of like a college town thing.
Yeah.
Because any college town you go into a bar and they always have like their signature drink.
Right.
And that's the shot that you can get everybody to do because they'll try it because it's the signature drink.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's a really good way to get people to have a good time, one, and make some money.
Right.
And, just get everybody drinking and having a good time. A Blue Light just opened up in Dallas.
Right.
And
have you been there yet?
I have, yeah. I sat in on Vincent Neil Emerson's set about a month ago. And I'm trying to get on a date there. I just haven't had one work out yet. I'm about to go out of state for a while, playing on the road.
Mm-hmm.
So we just got to find a time to do it. But I'm excited to play there. But yeah, they have burn shots, so it's nice to have somewhere to go, drop in and get a shot when you're in Deep Ellum.
Yeah. Well, see, in my opinion, it's so much. At the end of the night, the next morning, you're not waking up, and it's not one of those things where you're like, oh God, I had like 5 tequila shots last night.
I don't know, man.
I don't like tequila for
I don't either, but those burn shots will get you between the heat and it's got Everclear in it, doesn't it? Isn't that what the base is or something?
I know it's vodka.
Or maybe it's vodka. Whatever it is, it tore me up last time I was here.
Oh, was it?
It might have been because I had too many, but yeah, I did not feel good on the drive back to Dallas. But I'm sure I'll end up doing a couple tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a go-to. This record, going back to the record, John Pettigo, he's the one who produced, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man.
Well, like, what I guess, like, getting into that, like, how did he come in on this project? And
I've been watching John Pettigo play in bands since the early mid 2000s. I would sneak into shows like in junior high and go see rockabilly shows. He was in a band called Slick 57, and then he started playing in a band called Boys Named Sue. And then he started the O's with Taylor Young.
mm-hmm.
And so he's just kind of always been a fixture in the Dallas scene since I've been coming up in it and going to shows and stuff. So I would always see him around but never introduced myself because, I don't know, when you're in a scene like that, you feel like those people are like celebrities, the people that you see on Granada posters and, every time you go pee, you're looking at their face because they're on a flyer or whatever. And so I just never introduced myself. And then I play lead guitar in a band called Ottoman Turks from Dallas. We're still doing it. Played the Granada Theater in Dallas a couple times this year. And, we're getting out on the road a little bit. So
Mm-hmm.
we'll be doing that between my tour stuff. But anyway, we were playing a show in Bryan, Texas, next to College Station, A&M. And we were opening for the O's. And I just turned 21, and I was the only 21-year-old in the band. And the rest of the guys went back to the house, and I stayed for a minute and had some drinks with John and Taylor. They were real nice. We had a good time. And then every time I'd run into them after that, you know, we'd have a conversation. It just kind of drinking buddies type thing, I guess.
Right.
Ottoman Turks and the O's played some more shows together, and, you know, we formed a friendship. And then it came time to record an EP, and John said he'd give me a deal if I wanted to record like 5 songs solo. I was just going to do an acoustic EP. And so we started working on it, and we got almost done with it. And he's like, man, why aren't you making a full album? And I told him, well, I don't have enough money to make a full album. And he was like, well, what would you put on it, you know, if you were to add more songs? So I played him a couple songs, and I had just written Canyon. And he took those songs we were working on, and I think a demo of some of the other ones to State Fair Records in Dallas, who he'd been working with, and he just released, or he was working on releasing an album at the time for Pettigo's Magic Pilsner.
Right.
And, you know, Trey and Scott at State Fair liked the songs a lot, and a couple weeks later we talked about making a record, and then about 2 months later I was in the studio making it. So it just kind of, it all just fell in place naturally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I kind of knew John from him playing up here with the O's.
Mm-hmm.
They'd played, I don't know, you know, a couple times a year for the last few years, and I guess like first time I saw them, they opened up for the old 97s here. Yeah. And then like the last time old 97s was here, he played, I guess there was a couple songs where they had a couple auxiliary players in, and he was playing with them.
That makes sense. Him and Red have known each other for a long time, and he engineered and produced the Christmas album that the old 97s put out in December. So they've had, I think, a pretty long relationship.
Yeah. I think those him and Taylor were awesome. I mean, like they're
talented.
They I mean, it's super. I think it's super easy to like, especially if like you're a duo and you have like, especially if you have like something like a banjo or like a mandolin, it can be super easy to fall into repetitiveness, I guess, as far as like sounding for a band, for an audience. But like they always felt fresh, like every time like you heard them. And I can't. What is the last record called? Like Honeycomb. Like
I think that was the last one.
Yeah, there's a couple songs on there that. There's a song called Reaper, I think, that I thought was just phenomenal on there.
Yeah, man, they're good writers. They're just talented people. They're both doing solo stuff right now. Taylor Young just put out a single or two, and John's writing for a second record, and they're still going out as DOs every now and then, and doing their radio show every Friday in Dallas. So, yeah, they've just kind of always been around as long as I can remember.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like Dallas is okay. So it's such a big area, like we just talked about earlier. But like, is there? It just feels like there. When it comes to like the music scene, do we oversimplify it by like just grouping all of it together, or do you feel like there's
for sure
a lot more pockets?
Dallas and Fort Worth and Denton are all very distinct scenes. We're all trying to, I don't know. Some people like that they're distinct and they're separate. I'm kind of the thought that we should all be, you know, trying to mingle and play together, and that's what me and most of my friends try to do. But the sounds are different for sure. The players are different. You know, even though we're all in the same area, like we're all really 45 minutes away,
right,
minimum. So it's not like we're out drinking together every night. Or like Dallas hangs out, Fort Worth hangs out, Denton hangs out. If you want to go out drinking with your buddy in Fort Worth, you're gonna have to find a couch to crash on or something.
Right.
So like, it's just hard. You know, it's really not. It's 3 distinct towns. But the fact that we're all close together, like it. We intermingle all the time. I mean, every good band I can think of has players from at least 2, maybe all 3. of those cities. So when you go out on the road, yeah, you're all from DFW because
Right.
that's just how it works.
Yeah.
But there's so many good players in each town. There's so many good writers. The amount of good songs being written in DFW right now is just absolutely insane. I was talking to my friends this week about South by, and I'm on a couple big lineups that, like, last year I would have shot myself in the foot to get on. So the fact I'm on some of these
Right.
showcases is really mind blowing to me. Bandit Town, Big Velvet, even just playing sax. I've never played Saxon Pub. Playing the Saxon Pub, I'm playing right after Michael Martin Murphy, which is like,
Right.
that's insane.
Yeah.
I'm so pumped to meet him.
Another DFW guy, isn't he?
I think he's is he? I thought he was an Austin guy. Maybe he just moved to Austin.
I think he was
later.
like born.
Oh,
around
really?
there, like grew up there.
That would make sense.
Yeah. Of course, that was like.
I didn't know Steve Miller
50
was
years ago.
born and lived in my neighborhood and went to
Oh, really?
the same high school as all my friends till recently.
So I didn't know that either. I didn't know he was even from Texas.
Yeah, yeah.
So.
But anyway, I was looking at the showcases. I'm like, oh my God, I personally know half the people on this showcase, not because they have been playing big shows and I would go see them or whatever, but because we've all just been hanging out forever. Like, that Big Velvet Review has Frankie Leone, me, Vincent Neil Emerson, who's one of my good friends, the Vandaliers, Quaker City Nighthawks, and a couple others. And then a couple people I've met on the road, like Jamie Wyatt. I've played shows with her. And it's just like, this is going to be the best party,
Right.
Like, and the lineup at Bandit Town is really similar. So it's pretty crazy that I'm playing these shows, and I'm playing them with a lot of my friends.
Yeah.
Which is just so cool. I feel like the DFW scene is all over South by this year, which feels good.
Yeah.
I want everybody to do well. So,
Well, I mean, like, there's been some really, especially in this first quarter, I guess. There's been some really great records from out of the area.
yeah,
You mentioned Vandaliers, Quaker City Nighthawks last week. Your record. I'm sure there's a bunch more that I just can't think of at the moment.
yeah.
without
This
looking at
first
my
quarter,
phone,
I mean,
but-
I can't remember when did the Leon Bridges record come out. That came out in the winter, like before the new year, right?
Yeah, I think so. Like in that November area, October
Yeah.
maybe.
And
Something
then
like that.
Texas Gentlemen, they've done so much for the scene. That's a huge group
Right.
of really good players. Medicine Man Revival. They haven't put out a record yet, but their singles are amazing. And it's just all. I mean, I don't know if you watched the Grammys this year, but
I did
like,
not, because it was like I was watching something else that was. I think it may have been during like a Dallas Mavericks game.
Right.
I'm a big fan, but anyways.
All right, go Dirk. Yeah, I was watching it, and like every single award had someone from DFW as a nominee.
Yeah.
The hip hop scene in Dallas is insane right now. The producers, I mean, yeah, just go look up the nominees for pretty much every hip hop producer award, and like half of them are from DFW. It's nuts.
Yeah.
I mean, just, we have Grammy Award winning jazz bands. Snarky Puppies from there. We have Grammy Award winning polka bands, Brave Combos from there. Like, the scene is just so rich right now with every type of music you could want. The noise, the crazy noise, like avant-garde art
Yeah.
scene is bubbling over right now. Like, there's just so much good music being made in DFW. It's
Yeah.
awesome.
Well, see, I in a lot of ways, I envy that happening for like a place like Lubbock, because obviously Lubbock's just so much smaller.
Right.
Your population isn't able to support all these other styles of music. Like,
Sure.
For Lubbock, we've always kind of like been a little bit more, obviously more country than anything else.
Sure.
But you kind of, I guess they pick like a genre and go, okay, we're going to be rock and roll, and this is all we can really support for a while, and then it goes to that kind of thing. But
Sure.
it's so crazy seeing like all these, if you go to a big city like that and being able to really see all kinds of music and stuff that you wouldn't necessarily think would influence or even be associated with with people that you kind of are familiar with. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Like you mentioned, like the polka stuff. Like,
Yeah.
that's crazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know.
And not to, I mean, St. Vincent,
Yeah.
Went to Lake Highlands, I think. Same school Steve Miller went to. Same school I went to for 2 weeks. And like, she played. You know, like we had a
Right.
couple people from Dallas actually playing the Grammys this year.
Yeah. She whose record did she produce recently, or was going to? I don't know if it's out yet. There's a.
Oh,
It's some. I can't remember who it is now. There's somebody fucking big though that you go like, oh
Really?
shit.
I know she used to work out of Redwood in Denton. That's the band Midlakes band.
Mhm.
Mackenzie Smith is an engineer, producer there. He did St. Vincent's, one of St. Vincent's album. He worked with Sarah Jaffe, I think. He's in that band Banquet. It's like that kind of super group that came together
Mhm.
last year. But yeah, St. Vincent's worked out of that studio.
I remember seeing Midlake probably like 8 years ago down
Yeah.
the street here.
Like
On the
at
other
your,
side.
at that big day festival thing that happens down here.
No, they were playing like a just a venue. It was like a new kind of indie rock venue
Huh.
that venue's not around anymore. But
What's down here now? I know the Cactus is right next door.
yeah, I mean it's all kind of like in this lower area or in this high. I guess this is like the upper depot technically.
Okay.
Across 19th is the lower, and that's where like where that venue was, and then there was like a Wild West was down there, which is just your
that like a
Texas,
honky-tonk
yeah,
or
your
something?
college town,
Okay.
Texas country kind of place. But that place closed down. There's a couple other bars and stuff down there, but that kind of I don't know. It's kind of vacant over there right now.
Yeah.
Not much going on.
Well, man, I'm really excited to play here tonight.
Yeah.
What do you think? You think the Lubbock crowd's going to be into my tunes?
I think so. I mean,
I'm going to be honest.
you scared?
A little. I mean, I've been to shows here, and it's usually pretty rowdy, loud, honky tonkin
Yeah.
type of place, and I feel like I'm rolling in here with a 3-piece, gonna sing them some sad singer-songwriter country songs, and it might have bummed some people out that are trying to dance. I hope
Yeah,
I hope they appreciate.
I think
I'm
obviously
doing.
like a place like this, there's going to be a lot of people who they go out on a Friday night because it's Friday night, right?
Right.
You're going to go regardless of the music that's playing.
You're right.
But I think that what's special about a place like Blue Light is that since it's so small, there's just a natural intimacy that makes you in a lot of ways. If you're good, it makes people like pay attention. They're
Right.
going to have to in a way. But of course, I've also seen,
Bands
crowds
get up
where
here and eat it.
Yeah, we're
Just get eaten alive.
yeah, we're like not like necessarily like no one's throwing beer bottles or nothing like that. Not any
Yeah.
any
Just
Blues
loud
Brothers.
room,
Right.
people asking for George Strait.
Yeah.
That sort
Well,
of
I've not
thing.
ever actually seen a lot of that. What we have a little bit is like what they've always called like the Lubbock stare, where they just
Oh, yes,
after you
that is a
finish
thing.
and
I'll
there's
just-
no clapping or
Yeah.
nothing. Like there's no
Right.
approval or disapproval, just kind of looking
Yep.
at you, kind of thing. But I don't know. I think it'll be good. I think it'll be.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to play good, so I hope people like it. We put a couple burners in there, try to get people moving, get people
Right.
dancing. It'll be good. I'm just, like I said, last time I came through here, I was opening,
Yeah.
and I was playing solo. So showing up to a city where I don't know anyone and playing a 90-minute set, in a 300 cap room or whatever,
Yeah.
headlining, where it's actually, like my name, my face, who should put butts in the seats that night. It's a new for me.
Right.
So I'm still getting over that fear,
Yeah. Well, you mentioned you're going out of state,
Yeah.
playing a lot of shows.
Yeah, we're going to be
What's-
announcing. When does this show come out?
I'm not
You
sure.
don't know.
Probably
Sometime
next
in the
week,
future.
probably next week or week
Well,
after.
on Monday,
Okay.
I'm announcing some dates, so I can go ahead and say. But yeah, I'm going out with Old 97s for 4 dates through up through Illinois, down to Indiana, and then I'm gonna play Newport, Kentucky, Nashville, and Knoxville on my own, And then I'm going to meet Rhett Miller from Old 97s to open up for him solo through the Carolinas. And then I'll be headed home and playing Memphis, I think. And then coming home for a couple days, and then I'm going out with Charlie Crockett.
Yeah.
Up through Kansas and Oklahoma. And then I'm driving right back straight from Lawrence down to Green Hall. I'll be playing Green Hall for the first time, opening up for Wade Bowen.
Oh, that'd be cool.
And so I'm about to announce a lot of big dates, the biggest dates I've ever played. Yeah, and a whole string of them. So I'm really excited.
I was going to ask, like, how was opening with BJ?
That was great. BJ's amazing. He's been such a champion for my music and the album. Mm-hmm. Telling people about me on social media all the time.
Yeah,
he's great. When I opened for him, he would go out before my set and kind of give me a little intro, tell the audience to be respectful, pay attention, and that was just really nice. Such a nice guy. So cool to see someone who's worked so hard, reaping the benefits, and he treats his audience so well and with so much respect. He shakes everyone's hand as they're leaving. Yeah. And, he's doing it, and he's making a living, and he's got his family on the road sometimes, and he's just, it's kind of what we all hope to be doing if we want to make a career doing this. So it was really great to see that as an example, and I'm ready to put the 10 or 15 years more work into to get there. So yeah, it was just good. It was encouraging, and he's been great.
Yeah. He I guess
it was good too.
The last American Aquarium show here was in early December, and he had mentioned he was going to be announcing some solo dates, and that he was going to have you on a couple shows. We talked about you for a minute there about I guess he had heard Canyon and was just kind of called his booking guy. I was like, we need to do this now. Get this guy.
Right. His booking guy is John Folk at Red 11, which I'm actually on now. Yeah. I had a meeting with them in January when the record came out, and they picked me up, and they've been doing great work, and they put all these shows together. I can't wait to go play them. Right. And BJ, I guess December is probably around the time he heard the song and reached out to me on Twitter and stuff. So the fact that he's going around telling people, talking to you about it, I mean, yeah, who does that? He doesn't need to do that for me. He's got his own career to worry about, and that's just really cool that he would take the time to do that for somebody just because he heard a song that he likes.
He mentioned you mentioned the shaking everyone's hand after thing. I think some people can see something like that and being like, oh, he's just doing that to sell records, and it's no, that guy is genuine as hell with that kind of shit. He's
I mean, it doesn't hurt. Yeah. Shaking a hand might sell a t-shirt, but he wants to tell people thank you. Yeah. None of us would be able to do this if
there's
people
a deep appreciation.
Yeah, if people don't show up and want to hear this whole industry is so strange. I sit in my house and I write a song, and the fact that somebody would spend the time and money to drive across town and spend money to come see me sing that absolutely blows my mind. Right. And I think that he still feels that way and appreciates it the same, even though he's been doing it, over 10 years. And I hope that I feel the same way too. I mean, I certainly feel it now, so I don't think that'll wane. I mean, every time someone shows up, tonight I might be surprised. It might be a full room. Who knows? And I'm sure I will be surprised.
Well, I hope so.
But it'll be great.
Yeah. Well, you want to go grab a beer?
I would love to grab a beer.
Yeah.
It's
been
Let's
great
do some bird
talking.
shots.
Yeah, exactly. It's been great talking with you.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course.